Okay, this lesson is on multiplying fractions. To multiply two fractions, you first multiply the numerators, and then you multiply the denominators, and then simplify if needed. So let's take a look at our first fraction. It's 1/6 times 3/5. All right, so we're going to multiply the numerators together. Whoops, let me change the color here. So this is going to be 1 times 3 in the numerator, and then the denominator is 6 times 5. And then you just multiply. 1 times 3 is 3, 6 times 5 is 30. So you get 3/30ths, which you can simplify. Divide both by 3, and your simplified answer would be 1/10. Pretty easy, right? Okay, let's try the next one. 3/7 times 2/3. Again, you're going to multiply the numerators together. Now, if it helps you to actually write this out, the 1 times 3, or in this case 3 times 2 over 7 times 3, then you can continue to do so. If that's something that you don't need to do and you can just multiply the numerators together, that's fine. Okay, so 3 times 2 is 6, 7 times 3 is 21, 6 over 21, but we can divide both by 3, and our final answer would be 2/7. Okay, 5/8 times 24. This time we're multiplying by a whole number. Okay, the thing is if you have a fraction and you want to perform multiplication, everything has to be in fraction form. And we've already learned with rational numbers that 24, or whole numbers, can be written as fractions by putting them over 1, giving them a denominator of 1. It doesn't change the value of 24, it still equals 24 wholes. And now you're ready to multiply. So I'm going to multiply straight across, multiply my numerators. 5 times 24 is 120, and 8 times 1 is 8. And then you simplify. And actually, I can divide by 4, and I'm going to get 30 over 2, which simplifies to 15. And our last example, let me minimize this, is the 8 times 1/3. Again, all whole numbers you can put in fraction form by writing them over 1. And now we're just going to multiply our numerators together. 8 times 1 is 8. Multiply your denominators together. 1 times 3 is 3. So you get 8/3. Now this is an improper fraction, so we're going to have to change it back to a mixed number. So do your division. 8 divided by 3. 3 goes into 8 2 whole times, which is 6, and we have a remainder of 2. So it's going to be 2 wholes and 2/3. It's not too difficult. I think the hardest part is going to be simplifying your fractions and maybe possibly changing improper back to mixed numbers. Okay, what about when we're multiplying fractions and mixed numbers? Okay, again, fractions can only be multiplied by other fractions, so we have to change our mixed numbers into improper fractions before multiplying. Okay, and remember the text is backwards, TX, go backwards. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1, it's a plus sign, it's going to be 7, and the denominator stays the same. That's what we're going to do here. So we're going to rewrite it. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. So we're going to get 10/3 times 3/4. And multiply your numerators together. 10 times 3 is 30. Multiply the denominators. 3 times 4 is 12. Let's go ahead and simplify. We can divide both by 3. And that's going to give us 10 over 4. Oh, we can divide again, can't we? We can divide by 2. And that's going to give us 5/2, which is improper. Change it back to a mixed number. 2 goes into 5 2 whole times with 1 remainder. So 2.5. Let's try this one. 2 3/8 times 1 3/5. So both of them are mixed numbers, so we have to change both of them into improper fractions. So our first one, 8 times 2 is 16, plus 3 is going to be 19/8. And do the second one. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is going to be 8/5. Multiply your numerators together. Got 72, 8 plus 7, 152 over 40. I'm going to divide both by 8. It's a common factor. And 8 goes into 152 9 times, so we get 9/5. Cannot simplify any further, but it is improper, so let's change it to a mixed number. 5 goes into 9 one whole time with a remainder of 4, so 1 4/5. And our last example, 5 6 times 2 3/4. There's only one mixed number we need to change. So we're going to get 5 6 times 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3 is 11/4. Multiply your numerators. 5 times 11 is 55. 6 times 4 is 24. I don't think this can be simplified, so let's go ahead and divide. How many times will 24 go into 55? I believe it'll go in 2 times, which is 48. Subtract 15 minus 8 is 7. So we get 2 wholes with 7/24. And that's your final answer. And that's all there is to it for multiplying fractions or multiplying fractions with mixed numbers or whole numbers.